Hello everyone, SimAgent42 here, and I'm back with another Explore video for Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020. Today we find ourselves at Tamiami Executive Airport, which is a smaller airport southwest of Miami International. And today we are flying the Icon A5. Now, I first heard about the Icon A5 when I saw the trailer for this simulator, and growing up in the Caribbean, I've always sort of been fascinated by amphibious boats. I think, in fact, Pan Am had their start here as a water-based airline flying into and out of the Coconut Grove area. But yeah, so I've been excited to give this plane a try, and so I think that's what we're going to do today. So let's go ahead and get started with the startup procedures. So if I go to my checklist, after cockpit entry, all electrical equipment is off. Check, 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 check. Yes. Master switch set to on. Boop. All right. Tick that, and then fuel valve. Oh, it's up there. Okay. So now we're on. Okay. Now it tells us we can go ahead to engine start. So I'm just going to reset our view here. So we're going to turn on the strobe. We're going to open the throttle a ½ and we're going to start the ignition. Now I'm going to simulate the call out. Clear. Make sure any ground workers are well clear of my prop. Alright. And then we want to set the RPM to 2000 RPM, so we'll pull back a little here. And monitor the oil pressure. So we've got oil pressure in the green. Looks good. Alright. And engine run up. I think I'm going to wait for that until I'm holding short of the runway. So we'll just put that over there, reset our view, and let's go to ground. Tune to Tamiami ground, and we're going to request a pushback.
Ground Icon Alpha Golf November Tango 42 requesting pushback. Icon Alpha Golf November Tango 42 pushback request accepted.
Make sure to turn off our parking brake. We're going to request pushback to the left.
Alpha Golf November Tango 42 requesting pushback top to steer the aircraft to the left.
I'm not sure if that's right or not.
November Tango 42, your request has been transmitted to the operator.
Alright. It's light aircraft, so this is super fast. And so I'm going to stop it there so that I'm pointing the right way, basically once they get their message here.
Icon Alpha Golf November Tango 42 request to get
Dunzo.
pushback received.
I think... Can I do that? Yeah, okay. So this touchscreen allows us to see some more avionics info that is sort of absent in this light sport aircraft, I would say. So now we're going to request our taxi clearance to depart east, because we want to head out towards the coast.
Ground Icon Alpha Golf November Tango 42 with Sierra request taxi for takeoff departure to the east. Icon Alpha Golf November Tango 42 taxi to and hold short of runway 27 left using taxiway Echo Juliet. Contact tower on 134.6 when ready.
Okay. So we'll get over there, and it looks like... Oh, whoops. Our taxi ribbon is telling us to go out that way. So that's what we're going to do. So I'm still working on my airport knowledge and how to taxi and recognize airport signage. I did buy one of the FAA manuals for aeronautical knowledge, and hopefully I can read the chapter on this and get a handle on it, so I don't have to use the ribbon anymore. But in the meantime, we can just whip through this and get to the takeoff roll. All right, here we go. All right, so I'm going to hold short here. Pull the throttle to idle, set the parking brake, and do my run-up checklist. So, throttle to 2,500 RPM, which isn't very high. We want to make sure that this alternator light is out. So we did that. Tick item, exterior lights. I'm going to turn on nav light, taxi light, and landing lights. Tick item and put the power lever back to idle. So run up is complete. So we're gonna grab our tower clearance here. Request takeoff clearance VFR from Tamiami Tower.
Tamiami Tower icon Alpha Golf November Tango 42 ready at runway 27 left departure to the east.
Icon Alpha Golf November Tango 42 cleared for takeoff runway 27 left east, departure approved.
Okay. Now
Cleared for takeoff runway 27 left icon Tango 42.
Now I don't have other traffic turned on, but just as a habit I'm going to check for cross traffic. I don't see any, so I will take the runway. What happened? No, but seriously, what happened? I will try to start it again. Does this thing have a mixture control after all? I sort of thought it didn't have one. So it didn't seem to matter where I had what position I had the throttle lever in. Anyway, full throttle. I'm going to gain some speed here. Keeping it on the center line. Airspeed is alive. 60, 70. I'm going to pull back on the stick here. Positive rate. And we're going to do gear up. Verify that's in transit. And we're locked up in the up position. All right. Flying off the end of the runway here.
Icon Tango 42 continue for east departure. I will contact you next when you leave my airspace.
All right. Roger that.
Tamiami Tower icon Alpha Golf November Tango 42 continue for east departure.
All right. I'm going to come around to heading 90. Or heading 180, I should say. And I'm actually going to level off here. And then I'm going to come back to heading 90. Yeah, so this is sort of what you might consider the suburbs of Miami. The further west you go, the further from the coast it becomes more suburban. And, you know, that's not necessarily a bad thing. I have some friends who live out here. I don't think I'm going to fly over their house, but maybe if they see it, they can point it out to me. So yeah, there's Tamiami Executive. Nice little commuter airport. And yeah, we're just going to fly out to the coast here, and I can show you all around my hometown. As far as this plane goes, I do like the way it flies so far. It seems pretty stable and neutral, and seems to be pretty able to trim out for you know, stable flight, ascent, descent. I'm actually going to try to get it a bit lower. I'm going to try to keep things under at or under 1,000 feet here. And we're going a little fast, but that's okay. Just pull it back here. So what is this? Trying to kind of get my bearings here. So that highway looks like the Turnpike, the Florida Turnpike. It's a prominent toll road. And then I guess that's... Wow, it's been a while. I don't quite remember the names of all the highways. I guess it's the 874. Let's take a look outside here. It's got a very distinctive look to it, this this A5. But I don't say I hate it. You know, yeah, it's kind of weird looking, but it's a high-wing aircraft. It's got great visibility from inside, and you know, it can land on water, which, I don't know, maybe we want to try that today. Trying to bring back my throttle here a bit more. Let's see, where am I? I'm trying to get my bearings. I think this is Miami-Dade College, which used to be Miami-Dade Community College, but has had a change in its accreditation. Congrats to them. I had some friends that lived on this golf course, so I used to spend a lot of time there.
Icon Tango 42, you are leaving my airspace. Frequency change approved.
Frequency changed approved. Tango 42.
Tower Icon Alpha Golf November Tango 42 frequency change.
Yeah. So we used to set off like fireworks, and is that their house? That might be their house. No, it's not on the canal. Anyway, we used to set off fireworks on the golf course at like 4th of July and New Year's, that sort of thing. So what's over here? Oh, this looks like the, is it Baptist or South Miami Hospital? It's a medical complex, these buildings here. I know because I used to, I ran laps around this, this lake that's beneath me as a warm-up sometimes. And so I guess this is, ooh, big stutter there. This is 88th Street, also known as Kendall Drive. Just going over Galloway. Yeah. I'm having to stop myself from basically turning this into a video of pointing out the houses of my friends. But maybe that's what, you know, everyone wants. So we're going to take 88th past Dadeland here. That's the 826 that we're crossing. And for those of you that don't know, Dadeland is like a pretty standard shopping mall. You know, they've got the Gap, they've got, you know, Cheesecake Factory, all that stuff. And so this line here, this is US 1, which is sort of like the East Coast equivalent of US Highway 101 here in California. So we're going to follow this a bit because this leads straight to downtown. And so this takes us through a lot of the prominent neighborhoods. What is that? I'm trying to remember. That's a warehouse district. I didn't spend a ton of time there. But yeah, now we're sort of getting into South Miami area. You can see the metro rail that runs alongside US 1 here. It's kind of one of the main public transit arteries. Miami is not known for its public transit, so being close to that is quite valuable if you live in Miami. This is another mall that I spent a lot of time in, Sunset Place. They used to have an IMAX theater, but they closed it down. And then here, so this, coming up on the left here, is the University of Miami, which is where I used to work. And let's deviate a little here. You can see, I don't know the running track, but you can even see the U for the Miami Hurricanes in their practice football field. Lake Osceola, there's the student union, music school, and the library where I used to work. And so a lot of good memories here, running laps around campus. But let's try to head back towards the coast here as we follow US 1. We join US 1. This is an area of town called Coral Gables, and it's quite affluent. You know, there are parts of Miami that are more pretentious than others. You know, Gables is a nice place to live if you can afford to live there, but I don't know many people that can. That is my old high school, Coral Gables Senior High. I didn't live in Coral Gables. I commuted there. Oops, coming back too far. So we're still following US 1 here, going past the Gables. Eventually going to get into Coconut Grove here. But yeah, there's Bird Road and Douglas. Douglas is the north-south running one. Yeah, and over there is downtown Coconut Grove with a lot of marinas. Coconut Grove is a much more sort of chill place to live. I'm very partial to it. And this was the last apartment that I lived in Miami. This building right there. I lived on the first floor, and I was extremely lucky to be able to find a place there. So yeah, as you can see, US 1 runs straight into downtown Miami. And I don't know if we can see Miami International over there. I think it's over here, maybe. Maybe that's it. Or is that the tower? I don't know. Depends on the draw distance. Let's hop back inside here. And what we're going to do is we're going to follow this causeway out here. Because even though I've lived in multiple places in Miami, you know, I'm going to do the thing that all flight simmers do is when they first get this sim is fly over their house, you know. And in this way I get to revisit my childhood home. This is the home where I grew up on Key Biscayne. So this is the Rickenbacker Causeway that we're going to follow out here. Goes right by, you know, downtown and Brickell Avenue. So Brickell is this road here, and basically is the scene for most of the high-rises in Miami, or at least the tallest buildings. You can see some, so the architect who built this building and a number of other buildings in Miami is the same, very similar style. But yeah, we're gonna follow the Rickenbacker here. I'm actually gonna probably do most of this video in the external view. I'm not sure how people feel about that. But this is the William Powell Bridge that we're flying over. When I was training with the University of Miami Running Club, this is where we would have to come for any hill work. Because as you can see, Miami is quite flat. There are no hills to be found unless you're trying to head to a stadium where you can run stairs or something. But yeah, a lot of landmarks here. The Miami Marina there, Marina Stage. They used to put on concerts there until the building was condemned. Although I think recently they've gotten the funding to reopen it. Here's the Miami Seaquarium. The dome looks a little funky, but yeah. And then this is the Rosenstiel campus, which is also a part of the University of Miami. But this is their Marine and Atmospheric Sciences campus. Just trying to keep on here. And so we just passed over Virginia Key. And this island over here is Key Biscayne. And you can see a very popular boating community. Because there's marinas all over the place in Miami, in Coconut Grove, Key Biscayne. Here's the Crandon Golf Course, which was one of my first jobs. I worked as a driving range ball picker-upper. And then, yeah, there's the tennis center. One of the Grand Slams for tennis is held there every year. I think it's called the Ericsson Open now. They change title sponsors quite frequently. When I was growing up here, it was just called the Lipton Tennis Tournament. And now we're getting into the village of Key Biscayne proper. So this is Crandon Boulevard. It's where the Rickenbacker terminates into Crandon. And yeah, this is where I grew up. In the intervening years since I moved there, Key Biscayne has had a sort of influx of big money. So let's see. If there's the elementary school where I did first and second grade, let's see if we can find my house. Let's see. I'm using the active pause and trying to get a read. So this is West Enid Drive. And yeah. So this house, I believe, is my mom's former house. We sold it in 2000. But my mom planted this hedge. My bedroom is right there. Or no, it was here. I guess they've since added on to this house. But my mom put in that pool. And yeah, but that is where it all began for me, growing up there. So let's head back inside and, oops, what are we doing over here? Turn off our pause. And one thing that I'm sad is that isn't rendered in the sim here, it looks like, although I'm not surprised. Out here, off of the Cape, so this is Bilbag State Park. So I want to say sometime before the 1980s, there was a community that sort of popped up where people just built houses on stilts out on a sandbar, sort of, you know, here-ish. And it was just called Stiltsville. And I was curious to see if it was going to be rendered in the sim, and I guess I'm not surprised that it isn't, but it would have been really cool to see. So let's swing around the Cape here. We'll pass by the Key Biscayne Lighthouse. And There we go. Yeah, so that's like sort of one of the main landmarks for Key Biscayne. I think the city still has it like as their logo on their webpage. They did at one point, but that's in generally a nice beach anyway. So, you know, every now and then we go out there. So we'll just fly back up here. Let's try a water landing. So I'm going to drop our water rudder. So we're just going to kind of land parallel to the shore here. I'm also going to drop a notch of flaps. And we're just going to try to come down nice and easy on the water here. Truth be told, I probably wouldn't want to do this on the ocean side. I'd probably want to do this on the bay side of the island. And maybe we can do another video where we end up puttering around some of the little canals back there. Add another notch of flaps. Just going to come down here. 10 feet. And I'm going to cut the power. And let us land. Little bumpy. Oy. I'm not doing this right. I don't know that... You can't really use brakes, huh? So, you can say hi to all the beachgoers. Seem to have to add some significant counter yaw here. I guess maybe that's more prevalent on the water, the torque from the engine. Yeah, let's take a look. Raise our flaps. I mean, it looks pretty good, you know, kind of bobbing there. I'm interested to see what happens on takeoff, so let's try it. Just very briefly, will there be a wake? No wake, I guess. Or would we get up on the step, as they call it? So that's a rapid acceleration once we get up on the step. And we're up. Okay. So I'm going to raise those flaps. I'm going to come back inside. Gain a little bit more altitude, I think. And then we'll just do a brief pass by South Beach and the Port of Miami. Swing by downtown again. And probably go in for a landing. So, how are we doing? We're at 230 feet. Nose up a little. And then I want to retract my water rudder. All right. So here we go. We're offshore. That way is Bimini and the Bahamas. So I'm already thinking maybe I can do like a point-to-point flight from Tamiami Executive to Bimini in this craft and just like land on the water. It's easy enough to get to by boat if you have even a moderately sized boat. It's about a couple hours boat ride. But yeah. So this is Fisher Island, and I would wager that based on the cost of real estate there, Fisher Island is probably mostly populated by Republicans. But it's also distinctive in that there are no roads going to Fisher Island. You have to take a ferry if you live there. And the ferry terminal is right there. So that's sort of interesting. But yeah, so this is South Beach. You'll notice that there's not a ton of high-rises here, and that's because South Beach is sort of slowly sinking into the water due to climate change. Whenever there's any rain at all, you'll notice that South Beach, and probably North Beach too, is victim of some pretty severe flooding. So it is a real thing. Like, it's not just scaremongering. It can be really hard to drive because of the flooding and because it rains so frequently in South Florida. What other fun facts can I tell you? I didn't spend a whole lot of time in South Beach because I'm not much of a nightclub person, and it's sort of like the center of the nightlife in Miami is South Beach. Although I'm sure that there are probably some people who will argue with me on that. And now we're flying above Star Island, home to many celebrities and the ultra wealthy. Essentially because all of the property here is waterfront property. You can see the Port of Miami there. Now I'm noticing that there are ships on this side, but most of the ships are generally in this channel between this causeway and the port. You don't see very many ships on that side very often. But I guess maybe it was easier for Flight Sim to render the boats on that side. This is the Venetian Causeway that we're approaching right now. And over there is the 395. So that's north. That way is like Fort Lauderdale, Hallandale Beach, that sort of those areas. And I noticed that Flight Sim is having some trouble with the low-lying bridges and the water level. So climate change isn't quite that bad yet, but I'm sure it'll get there. So yeah, there you can just see American Airlines Arena coming into view. And then if that's Airlines Arena, that's the Adrian Arsh Center, which is a performing arts center. See some good operas there. And below us now will be Bayside Marketplace and Marina. I believe Miami Vice was filmed here as one of the recurring locations. And that's Bayfront Park for my EDM people. That's where Ultra Music Festival usually happens, as well as the finish line for the Miami Marathon. I feel like I'm a little low for this, so I'm going to pull up. There we go. Again, all of this is super illegal. I probably would never be allowed to do this. So this is the building that my mom used to work at, 801 Brickell Avenue. And so yeah, we lived over there. It was about a 15-minute drive over the causeway, and she was at work, you know. Not a bad deal, all in all. Yeah. It's nice to see some of the more distinctive, downtown Miami buildings and architecture. The skyline really makes me hungry for good Cuban food, which I haven't been able to find anywhere else outside of Miami. And then I kind of want to do another low pass here. I'll pull back on my RPM. Oh, there's that toll booth. I remember that. We had to go through that every day when going, you know, on and off the mainland. So up ahead here, this is Villa Vizcaya. It's an Italian villa that was built by James Deering, I believe in the 10s or 20s, 1910s or 1920s. He just had a love affair with the Italian Renaissance and decided to build himself an Italian villa, and you can see the gardens there. It was where the Italian Renaissance Festival used to be held. So, but I think I'm going to try to wrap this up in the next few minutes here, basically by heading back to that airport. Coming in way too low here. Might be interesting to navigate all these little canals if I can get in there. Now this is Coconut Grove again. That's Ransom Everglades Middle School, I want to say. So, let's see if we can do a flyover of Coco Walk. But, so that's Dinner Key Marina. And I remember taking a little inflatable life raft with one of my friends and rowing out to like those tiny little islands and just like exploring around when we were in middle school. I mean, we'd never be allowed to do that today, but you know, it was a different time. Surprised our parents let us get away with that. So I think I might just fast forward back to the airport here and then cut back to final approach. So let me see if I can reach the tower at this point. Nearest airport list. Miami Executive. Request full stop landing.
To Miami Tower icon Alpha Golf November Tango 42 is 6 miles east with Sierra to land.
Icon Alpha Golf November Tango 42 to Miami Tower. Fly straight in runway 27 left. Altimeter 29.9 to wind 276 at 7.
All right.
Icon Tango 42 cleared to land runway 27 left.
Roger that.
276 at 7.
Clear to land runway 27 left icon Tango 42.
So 27 left. So I believe that's going to be left of the beacon. It's going to be the same runway we took off from. I'm going to drop a notch of flaps. Sort of just coast here. What is going on? So my flaps are there. And since I'm on basically on final, I'm going to drop my landing gear. Gear is down. All right. Huh. Now this looks like a pretty normal glide slope for once. I'm not used to doing that. All right. Let's try not to mess this up. know if those are 4 red lights next to the runway. Am I messing this up? Am I too low all of a sudden? Alright, there's 1 white light. Two white lights. All right. Still on glide slope. This might be my best landing yet, he said with famous last words. I mean, I'm pretty centered. I'm on glide slope. I've got good speed. Flaps are down. So is my gear. All right, now just grease it onto the runway here. All right.
Icon Tango 42 exit runway when able.
Roger that.
Icon Tango 42 contact ground on 121.7.
All right. Acknowledge ground handoff.
Going to ONE 21.7 Icon Tango 42.
Taking it nice and easy. Let me just nudge it forward just a wee bit. Come on. Takes quite a bit of throttle to get this moving. All right. So parking brake is set, and I believe they don't give us a shutdown checklist like they do in the Cessna, which is something I'd like to see. So I'm just going to retract the flaps. Parking brake is set. We're going to turn off all of our lights. And we're going to turn everything off. All right. There's the flight. I hope you all enjoyed it. If you have any questions about the greater Miami area, I'd be happy to answer, you know, as much as I can. And I appreciate you coming along with me, and I hope to see you in the next one. Thank you so much. Good night.